Hey,
Hey, how goes it?
yeah, going pretty good. Just recently, I've got to my apartment in Redmond. I guess it was the 15th. So yeah, just last Monday that was sort of our first day in the apartment, and we got things set up pretty quickly, but not much furniture. We just have like a mattress on the ground, and we got like dinner chairs, but no table yet. It's a two-floor unit, which is kind of nice, and we end up sitting on the stairs a lot, like to eat dinner.
That's cute. Oh, that's awesome. Well,
But
yeah,
yeah,
that's a quick turnaround for getting an apartment and everything.
yeah, it was nice to do it fast, and I think we found like a good trade-off. Like, there's not many downsides to the place we found. Just in the winter in Redmond, it gets dark very early, like around 5 p.m.
Hmm.
But still, there's a lot of nice trails and some lights on trails. Otherwise, I bring like a headlamp and I turn it on for like safety if so that a bike doesn't hit me or something if I'm walking in a dark trail.
Right.
Uh, but yeah,
Nice.
that's the only thing is yeah, like at the end of the day, 5 p.m. it's like really dark. But if you just sort of ignore that and there's a nice like train from Redmond to Bellevue, which I might take later this evening. It goes into Bellevue, and there's a nice mall there that's like lit up inside. Uh,
Oh, cool.
yeah,
That's
it makes
awesome.
it funny though, because or yeah, go ahead.
No, no, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say the funny thing is like you sort of finish the workday where you're inside all day working, and you finish the workday, and then you exit into this like dark, like sometimes we'll be walking on the side of like a 4 lane road with like all these cars going by, a lot of wind noise, and it's like dark outside. It's like very punishing and dark. And then the only like refuge is like go into like the nicely lit up like mall. And it's sort of like it makes it feel like okay, like capitalism allows us, like you're allowed to like be in your house during the day as long as you're like being productive for capitalism. And then as soon as the workday is done, the sun is like taken away. And it's like, and if you want like to enjoy yourself in your off time, head to the designated capitalist area where you can like purchase things inside this mall. But set foot outside it and you'll just be like walking on the side of this like dark like highway.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's a tough one. Yeah. I'm sure you'll find like other, or I guess I don't know, like is your neighborhood like next to anything else, like more urban, or is it kind of a closer to
Yeah, it's fairly
suburban?
good. There's Redmond. Redmond has like a kind of an outdoor mall called Redmond Center. There's a lot of restaurants and shops, and they have like nice Christmas lights around like the town of Redmond. There's a lot of like 4 story because there's a limit on building height. So there's just everywhere is like 4 story or 5 story apartment buildings now,
Hmm.
and we're just like a bit outside that. So we have nice, yeah, we have like trails that kind of run off like pretty far into the countryside, but then within like maybe, 10, 15 minutes, we can be in a more like fairly, there's like people in restaurants and there's apartments and I guess like, sort of like parking. And yeah, it's a fairly like urban area. But that's where also the train is to get to Bellevue, which is more built up. But then, yeah, there's like suburbs and dark, like non-lit like walking trails between like Bellevue and all over the whole area. Actually, I filmed a
Yeah.
video that I just published a video that is like a me and my wife like walking a bit, and then I did like a fast motion, like I walked for like 2 hours on a bunch of trails, and I filmed it with like a camera that kind of stabilizes itself. Uh, and that
Oh,
was like a
cool.
sort of a fly through thing, yeah, of showing like a bunch of the cross. There's a trail called the Cross Kirkland Corridor, which is pretty large.
Nice. That's cool. So yeah, sounds sounds like a nice area. That's great. Are
Yeah.
you yeah, feeling like reset, or you said you've already started working, so like right back into it?
It was definitely a good reset, and starting this new job has been very energizing. It's a very, I think it's the exactly right project for me. Just making like they have a bunch of like weather APIs that return like you can search like a location and a date range, and it returns like weather stations close to that location. And then with those, then there's like other APIs that will give you like like those weather stations collect data, and there's like weather APIs to get like forecasts and interpolated data for like you can choose any location, and the close by weather stations will like do a forecast and stuff. And these are all like just programmatic like APIs, and they just want to make well, the project started with they wanted to make like a visualization, like a tool that would let people like visually use the APIs with some kind of
Mm.
form they could submit. But then they thought they could dress it up a bit more to be like more of an exploratory tool and have like there's a map that will show the stations, and you can overlay like grids of weather data on the map. And but this right now it's in just they've had a designer like create designs for this like tool, and they've been going back and forth talking with people that know the users and stakeholders. And so now this past week has been like the UX designer that is also a contractor that like they're like wrapping up and they're going to leave, and then they're handing off all the designs to me, and then I just sort of make decisions about how to get that design into production, like starting with like a minimal prototype and working from there and trying to get like a minimum viable product maybe in the next 3 months, and then expanding from there. And yeah, it's all like React JS. The
Sweet.
Yeah, it's all yeah, all of that is like exactly what I want. The only friction has been that it's been kind of hard to get like I'm waiting on my work laptop, and they sent like a loaner, and it didn't sign in, so I need like another one. And then I was using a cloud machine a bit. Uh, but I can do most of my work on like my personal laptop, but there's like some permissions that I can't like hit the exact APIs to sort of learn the data format exactly. I've seen like examples, but it
Right.
always feels like, like if I sit down at a computer, I can get like stuff done. But if it's like, oh, it's got to be like a corporate machine with this account, and the loaner is a Windows laptop, and then like, I have my applications and stuff that I like on my personal machine that I got to like sign into. And then
Yeah.
like just even the keys where like a lot of times when I'm editing code or text, I like hold the modifier key that lets you skip like a word at a time. And that key is always different, and it'll just, it really throws a lot of friction in the process, and it interrupts like my ability to think about what I'm trying to accomplish if I can't like iterate quickly. So then it almost slows me down to the point where I'm like, I'm not getting any, like, I'm not doing anything actually. And I just wonder, like, uh, I almost need to like figure out a way to change my mindset so that I can make slow progress. Cause
Mm.
usually I want to do like a bunch of stuff fast. And if it's not happening fast enough, then it's almost like demotivating, or I, I can't, yeah, I can't like iterate fast enough to like allow myself
Stay
to like
motivated.
stay motivated, and like I can't like see stuff taking shape or make adjustments quick enough to get it to where it should be or something. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, I get that. Yeah. I feel like sort of why I like shied away from data science type work with like big data. Like I feel like I uh, was fine working with, I don't know, whatever, big data system architecture stuff if I could like test on like small amounts of data and like like
Oh yeah.
be able to iterate really quick. But with data science, I feel like there's a lot of times where it's just like, okay, you need to run this like massive experiment and then just like wait a day. I'm like, I can't, like my mind just doesn't work like that. Um,
Yeah, I can relate strongly to that, not from the data science part of view, but like, yeah, if I'm building anything in code, I just need to see the result and make a change and see the result.
yeah.
And yeah, it's not something, yeah, it shouldn't, like you'd think that if it slows down, it would just be slower. But if it slows down beyond a certain point, like it, yeah, like I guess I've just like starting a new job, it's like you get bombarded with like all the different like chats and teams and emails, and then onboarding docs, and like installing Python and installing Node. And
Right.
like trying to get the court machine like credentials, and it's like so much. It feels like you're just nonstop doing stuff, and then at the end of the day, it's like, but I don't have anything to show for this. Like all I can say is like onboarding's going well. I guess like I haven't
Mm.
produced anything of value, and but then you feel like just equally exhausted of like uh, trying to remember like all these little things.
Yeah. Yeah, that's frustrating. I feel like it's like when you're starting somewhere, it's like want to like show like, oh no, I can like do a lot of things quickly, but like I'm
Yeah,
really hamstrung by the fact that I don't have my laptop. Yeah. I
yeah,
actually at the my previous job worked with the weather data a lot, so it all sounds like somewhat familiar. Um, yeah, like I remember like building because it was like the company did like risk assessment based on um, like hazards like floods and
yeah,
earthquakes and wind storms, and so like one of it was with like rainfall data. And so yeah, it was a lot of like probably yeah the type of company that you're working at, like taking that data and interpolating it over the areas that um, mattered to the analysis or whatever. And um, yeah, I feel like I some of my uh, most fun times was when I got to like see that through till the end, and in like terms of a user facing product with like a pretty interface, you know, which like
yeah.
I can't really do any front end work, but they were good front end uh, engineers on the team too. So
Yeah, it's really cool when something like good designers can make a design and it just makes it feel so real. Like it goes from
yeah,
this concept to like something that you just believe is going to exist. And then I don't know if I'm good enough at front end, but like making something like polished enough where it just feels like this is the proper way, like it should be. And everything's like solid enough where there's no like weird UI glitches where it just feels like there's a weight to the interface, uh, and you can like really get stuff. You can sort of think about new things because the interface lets you like explore the data in a new way. It's like a fun thing to see.
yeah, totally, totally. Yeah, I miss. Yeah, I feel like I don't. Yeah, do that type of programming anymore. Like working with data and uh, yeah, that is like I'm sure that those skills are just like totally atrophying, but um, yeah, it's interesting to think back on. Like my partner will occasionally do work that with like analyzing like large amounts of data and like ask me things and about like I don't know like different like, file formats and whatever, and I'm like, yeah, like I remember knowing all of this, but now it's like not there exactly. Yeah. Yeah, how was San Diego?
Yeah, that was also fun. Uh, I made a little family video. Yeah, these videos are like unlisted, like it because it my cousin, like the cousin, my wife's cousin who was living with us for a bit in SF. We helped him get his own place when we moved out like to Redmond, but he gifted me like this Cosmo Pocket camera that so it like it's like a got a stabilizer, so it's just like a handheld small camera, but it's like tries to keep the shot like as smooth as possible. And
Mm,
it's kind of cool seeing it working. Like if you look at the lens, like as you're walking, you can really see it like reacting to if you're like shaking it or something.
that's
So
cool. Yeah, I've just
yeah, I
watched the
did
first
some
minute of
shots.
this. It's like
Oh
really
yeah,
good quality. Like very
yeah,
impressive.
yeah, it's nice. Like I just hold it out arm's length, and then it can rotate around and sort of show me and my wife walking, or uh, especially when I fast forward the footage, there's a little bit of dipping from like the walking, but it actually has like a faster. Like I didn't try it, but there like the head on the camera like pivots at a certain rate, and you can like speed that up if you're like running or something.
Mm.
And I noticed this was my first attempt at like a long, like 2 hours of like footage where I'm walking on a trail, and then I sped it up like 16 times, and you can see like, yeah, the walking shakes it a bit, but I wonder if, but I wasn't even like making an attempt to like hold it steady, but it's pretty steady even then.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I made these unlisted videos where, just for fun sort of, and they ended up being kind of cool. Like it gave, because I think we don't realize it, but we watch a lot of content. If you see any like streamer outside or anything like that, they're doing some kind of like talking to a camera as they walk. Uh, and so I think people have like this natural ability to understand, like if a camera is sort of facing them in that way, they can say
Mm.
things. And even if the video is kind of like poorly made, and like I'm not the best at like talking on the spot or anything, it still fits like the format of like people. It's still, I feel it like comes across as like, oh, these are two people like summarizing a vacation, or it's just like a snapshot of a day. Uh, and it, I don't know, for me, because I guess I was there, so for me it's like it feels like watching like a home video sort of thing.
Mm. That's
Yeah,
cool.
actually, that's,
Yeah.
I think that's what it
There's.
most, yeah, this San Diego one, it most feels like that, where it's like I got, like I had a, like the camera, this was my first opportunity was in San Diego to use the camera. So it was sort of just like experimenting with the camera, filming different things, filming people talking. And that
Mm.
really felt like the old school, like home videos. Because I guess at some point, like in the 90s ish, like the handheld, like it was, you could get a cheap handheld video camera. And so some member of a family always had one and ended up like filming stuff because that was the first time you could do that kind of thing. And then it resulted in all these home videos. And then that kind of went away when it just became really easy and common with iPhones. But now it's like the camera can stabilize itself, so you can just like throw it out as you're walking and you get a good enough shot, and it records audio like somehow there's a mic somewhere on it. And actually, it's a DJI camera, so the portable mics that I have could also connect to it. Uh,
That's great.
but
Yeah.
yeah,
Definitely a lot of utility. Yeah, I'm just scrolling through a little bit on mute. These videos. Yeah. I mean
oh,
the.
the Star of India ship was in, like, that's the one that got taken over by Assassin's Creed. That,
Right.
yeah.
That's cool. That's fun. Yeah, and yeah, this the trails on the Redmond one are very pretty. I feel like especially in the, I mean, it's still pretty in the winter, but I bet when it
Yeah.
gets warmer, it'll just be gorgeous.
Yeah, my favorite thing is like a damp trail, like the ones in the video with like
Yeah,
fall leaves. And there's a
yeah.
couple, they don't all get packed, but yeah, like there's a couple trails I've been on in the Redmond area where, yeah, it's like a straight like tube of like colored leaves, and there's wet leaves on the ground. And that is like a, there's like that experience that is very like exhilarating for me. And then just the other day, in the evening, like at 4 during sunset, I went for a run, uh, like right outside my apartment here. There's, I think it's called the Sammamish River, and there's like a 10K stretch of trail that it's just like the river, the trail, and then some like farmland and trees on the other side. And I was running there around like sunset, and it felt like this really like warm, holistic, like pleasing sort of like, like I'm running, I'm relaxing. There's a few people and a dog like walking around, and then there's this wide, like calm, like slow flowing river. And I'm just sort of, I'm running by these like enormous like soccer fields, and then some like farmland and some rows of trees. And at one point there was like a bunch of crows like flying overhead like in trees. Uh, but yeah, that moment of like that sort of time of day and trail, it just really feels like timeless. Uh,
Mm.
and it's crazy how, uh, yeah, like it. I don't know. For me, for whatever reason, I connect it to uh, like I think for some reason about like Einstein walking in the forest and like contemplating like the secrets of the universe in
Mm.
like in a time when like there was only letters. And like there's this like elegance to like going for a walk in the countryside near like a small town, and just kind of feeling like you can see like you can see through all the weird complexities of like capitalism and everything, just right down to like they're like this is this is just what the world really is, like a path beside a river and a human like just kind of reflecting on the moment or something. uh
Yeah.
and that something like this may become I'm sure it will become like my next Doc Lightning like video. uh
Yeah. Sparking the ideas. Yeah, I always feel like when I go visit like my family in Cincinnati, and in particular my partner's family in Madison, it's like time just slows down so much, like it compared to San
right.
Francisco. Like it's just like, yeah, it just feels so different. Um, and I think, yeah, that's my experience of it. It's just like days kind of just flow differently, um,
Yeah.
in ways that, yeah, I like. I like both in different ways, but yeah, yeah, I do sort of miss, like I love the fall. I love like the feeling of seasons, um, and like mark as a way of marking cycles of time. Uh, and yeah, I guess yeah, San Francisco doesn't have that quite as much.
Yeah, a lot of same-ish days.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, it was very interesting to live in San Francisco for a bit, just to sort of experience like the like I couldn't really set it's even still it's very hard to pick up on, because it's like there's like the Embarcadero, there's Golden Gate Park, there's the Muni, they can go different places, and it feels like in like really in theory, and even like in practice when you're there, it's like this should be relaxing, right? Like walking on the waterfront in different times, but somehow there's like something very subtle there that is like there's just a base level of anxiety that I felt I had a lot of the time. And then
yeah,
here, uh, yeah, here it's like the same annoying things can happen, but just the ability to, like, as I just described, like be on a pathway, like I was describing, it just is like that's what I personally need to like reset completely and just feel like it's like something makes it worth it. Like just to sort of have another chance to like go for a short run on a calm pathway and just know that like that's available, even if most of the time I end up working and not doing it as much as I want. Uh,
yeah,
it's a good, yeah, it's like, it just feels much more healthy reset, but it's hard to calculate. Yeah, it's hard to like calculate exactly what is missing that would cause that or added in the other place. But uh,
yeah, yeah. I feel very lucky.
yeah,
Like, I mean, when we first moved to San Francisco, we were living like in more centrally downtown, like kind of in the uh, Soma, like south of Mission neighborhood.
yeah,
Um, and it's just like I feel like so hectic and like far from any space that was where you could just kind of be like alone. um,
yeah,
and I feel like yeah, that really sort of got to me over time. And now it's like we live like sort of on the more on the west side of the city, which so it's like already like a little calmer, but like right next to the Presidio, like big park. So it's like I can always just like go there and it's like instantly very, very calm and naturey. Um, or I can like if I want to like I don't know, have be in the city, it's like I just go for a walk or like take a quick bus ride and then I'm sort of there. And yeah, I like when I go up to Cincinnati, it's like I can last like a week max, and then I just kind of go stir crazy. Like I just like like I need to. I can't just like. Part of it's maybe I just I don't have a car in Cincinnati, so it's like how am I gonna like? I can't just like keep I don't know
yeah,
taking other people's cars to get places or whatever. And yeah, it's just like I just need to see like life happening. Um, I don't know. Yeah, I went out like uh, it was last weekend with some friends on a very rare like sort of night out thing, like probably one of the only ones I've done in many years.
Oh yeah.
But it was like, yeah, we were sort of walking around and like I think we were sort of going in and out of uh, like different, yeah, sort of downtown neighborhoods, and like, yeah, it's certainly, yeah, there's like a lot of complexity uh, around the, yeah, around poverty that's happening, and like, you know, that's horrible. Um, and I felt like, it was like around midnight on a Saturday night, and just like the lights of the city are everywhere, and there's just like so much happening, and it's just like I there's something about that feeling, like walking around sort of late night where there are a lot of other people out late at night, like all different types of people sort of doing different things. uh Feels like, yeah, something that I don't want that much of, but I do want uh some of, like
Yeah.
um which I guess San Francisco or other big cities offer.
Yeah, Bellevue is a good place to go for me to get that here. Because yeah, a few nights ago we like around 5 p.m. it got dark, and then we walked over, took the train there, and like we arrive in Bellevue, and there's like a spontaneous like Christmas parade going on like a short. They have like a short sort of strip in the main downtown area beside the mall, and there's like people like stacked up against some barriers like watching it. And then we go into the mall and it's all bright, and like there's a bunch of Christmas lights, like it's like kind of a high end mall, so there's just like
Right.
lots of Christmas lights inside the mall and people like everywhere. And yeah, it was just like tons of people. And like we like checked out couches, walked by like a nice chocolate shop, got a free sample. uh like Yeah, and it was like this overwhelming, like there's so many people here doing things, and we kept seeing like stores we remembered or we liked. uh and then yeah, just like back on the train, and then you get off the train, and there's like a second, like Redmond has some restaurants that are crowded, and some people walking outside, and some like nice like spaces, but it's more like a chill vibe. And then yeah, we you sort of exit Redmond, cross the bridge, and then you have these quiet, like where we are, it's like 3-story apartments that, like, it's just maybe there's like cars on a road, but you wouldn't see anybody like around.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Sounds perfect. Yeah. I love the, yeah, just from this short video you just sent me, all these trails, like it's just like the perfect sort of, uh, yeah, relaxed nature vibe.
yeah. One interesting thing too is in the video, there's a quick shot of it. It whips by, but it's like a sign that says like a section of that Kirkland corridor. The gravel trail is going to be like closed as of January 2nd temporarily. I think they're doing some kind of maintenance on like a water pipe, but also they're doing construction to build like it's either a new bike lane or a new car lane from like Kirkland to this highway called the 405. And then they're also adding like 2 lanes to this highway 405. And so amongst all the good decisions like the Kirkland Redmond area has made with trails, they're also like widening a highway, which everybody knows is like not gonna solve anything.
Yeah.
Uh, but then also it's like that beautiful like super long cross Kirkland corridor. Like it's actually like so long that I feel like there's always like that's the one fear is like I'm walking on it so peacefully, and then there'll be a closed section, and then you got to detour across like a 4-lane road and get back onto it. But it's so long. Like if you walk the whole length of it, I'm sure some part of it is always like being worked on. Uh, but the
Right.
nice part of Redmond is like Cross Kirkland Corridor is such a cool trail, but there's like entire other areas that I have networks of trails that I walk on. So I feel like if one trail temporarily closes there's like so many backup places I can go that makes me feel more safe. Whereas like in SF, there was kind of some critical places like if if the Embarcadero was under construction or something gets like closed or blocked off, it's like a
Yeah,
much bigger
tough.
inconvenience.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, I feel like you'll have so much to explore, and I guess you said you've been to the area before a little bit.
Yeah.
Have
Yeah, I
you?
lived in this pretty similar area. I lived like actually the train like they were built like when I lived here 3 years ago for 2 years, they were building the train in many of the places that we visited, and now it's like well, it's done from like Redmond to Bellevue, and one of the stops in the middle in the train is like right beside our old apartment, and that was like the train stop that was like never opening when we were living here,
Mm,
uh, but now it's open.
nice. Yeah. So you're just work from home for foreseeable future?
Yeah, pretty much. Uh, the company's based, I think, in like Iowa.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the first time I've done that. Like, well, actually, I guess I actually last time I was in this area was during the pandemic, and Microsoft was like totally work from home, and only around the time I left did they start going back to the office.
Mm,
Uh, so yeah, I was also fully remote back then. But I remember just like the memories I have back from that time are all like walking on the trails and all the fun stuff that we did. But then when I think back to like my work life, like I was pretty stressed out about work. Like I felt like nothing was happening and I couldn't do anything. And it was kind of isolating to be like at home in a big tech job where I just felt like I couldn't do anything and there was no one around me and no mentorship.
yeah.
Uh, and so now that's a big change now is like I'm working from home, but it's sort of like I believe I can do this job, and it's a bit challenging at that. But I think I can rise to this kind of challenge. It'll be like exciting, some of the more complex UI or whatever. And it's just nice to be like I get to be in my own home and sort of tackle that challenge myself. And but there's like people like coworkers to support me if needed, uh, and that's kind of more of like a fun feeling.
Yeah.
Maybe this is almost like the first time I've like at like 35 years old, it's the first time I've had a job where I feel like I have like I know I have the some skills and I know the other skills that I want to build to do this job. Uh, and it's like a product for users that makes sense to me. So it actually feels like the skills and the result are like lining up in a pleasing way, whereas like no other job has ever done that. It's either I didn't have the skills needed or didn't want the skills or there was no work to do. But
Nice. Yeah. Didn't
now
have to
yeah, it'll be
compromise on
interesting to
anything.
see. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how
Good.
did actually uh, I didn't see I guess you did you not get around to submitting anything for the jam, but did you do some work on your game or think more about it or like what where are you with the game you had been working on and how did you feel
Yeah.
during like the November?
Yeah, I didn't submit anything for the jam in November. Um and yeah, I did start working again, which is good
Oh
for
yeah.
yeah, just getting in more of a flow. And
I'd be
yeah,
interested to
I
hear what role and stuff.
what's that? Oh
Like
no,
what
just like
oh on the
working
game.
like as in on yeah.
Oh.
I yeah, I am doing the idea that we talked about like for the jam. And I'm trying to get it done for the Godot game jam that started like this week because I'd barely done anything before, so I felt like it was fair. Um, but yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I think it's yeah, it's been a like I don't know. There's just like so much uh other things I felt like I've had to tend to. I feel like I consistently sort of put like actually working on this craft that I want to be prioritizing. Like I keep prioritizing it last, um, compared to other things that just like feel way more urgent. Um, and in like some sense, a lot of it is, or yeah, but I need to enforce some better like structure and just like boundaries on my time, uh, to be able to like actually make this or attempt to make this a new career, or spin it into a new uh, skill set that can sustain me. um, but yeah, I'm also not like too upset with myself because it just like kind of has been a rough, I don't know, year almost. So it's like I've been giving myself some grace in that, but um it is hard. Like it's like my attention span or something. Like I feel like I used to just like be able to work like without stopping for long stretches. Um, and now it's like
Yeah.
it's more of an effort for sure. Even when I'm like really enjoying it, I'm just like I feel myself, my mind getting tired. But
Yeah. I've experienced something similar. Yeah. Just
mhm,
the in my 20s, like getting into like a really flow state and just feeling like I would work and like not almost like not eat and stuff like that. And
yeah,
I would be like, yeah. Uh, but yeah, now it's it's harder to get just like that effortless like momentum or single. Yeah, there's just like it's like a lot of stuff in life is going on. Just even just having a cat, like the cat interrupts me. Different like
yeah,
life things. I always more distractions. Yeah.
yeah, totally. Yeah, I feel like there's like it's like uh my college experience was certainly like mostly good, but also just like way too much work. But it was like, man, like when I was in doing that, it was like it was the main priority. Like it wasn't like I was gonna like uh usually like I just prioritized that number one because that was like what I was doing. And now it's like for some reason I'm like, oh, I feel like I need to tend to like the world around me, like that always comes first. I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just it's a hard thing to shake. But yeah,
Yeah,
but
there it's interesting trying to think. It's very fascinating trying to think like is there some simple like mindset thing like but it could go both ways. It could be like we adopt a mindset that makes us feel more at peace with not doing like let's say game dev uh or we find a mindset that enables us to do like more game dev and not feel like we're forcing ourselves to do it.
hmm
Uh, yeah, and like, but it's like either it's interesting. Yeah, lately I've been thinking how like it's almost like nothing like there's nothing is like one way or the other. Like everything can be viewed in any from any direction, kind of, and then so we're just left sort of with this like decision about how we want to feel about everything.
mm,
And yeah, it's because it's like if it comes effortlessly, we don't like appreciate the work or something. But then if it's kind of like if you could choose whether or not game dev was hard, it would kind of be like a waste to like make it easy because then we wouldn't like feel any reward or something. And but then if it's like if it's too hard, we don't produce anything, but they're like the value is like in the process anyway. And so then like we're just like on like the yeah, it's like it's almost like actually I just feel like our podcast name suddenly is very relevant, like game dev in process, because it's like that's what it's all about. Is like it's not about the process ending. It's not about like starting. It's just about like this is us wanting to make a game and not like doesn't matter if we're working on it, like the game is in progress and that's what matters. And the state of being that we're in is like a person in the process of making a game. And that's like that is our mindset, is like we're wanting to work on this, we're in process and working on it. And but there's nothing to say about like the rate that it's advancing at or whether it ever gets completed. It's like the fascination is like the process. uh
Yeah, I think that's a
but
really good
then
point.
yeah,
Yeah.
I guess it's I think that's what I found was it's very like I really enjoyed writing the hip hop songs that I've written so far. But
Mm.
what it turns out is you can just write those whenever. Like I'll be like doing a run, or I can just think of rhymes and jot them down on different kind of notepads and stuff, and then at some point like you sit down for an hour and compile it all together, and then sometime later you record it. But it's very like you can record in like one session, you can write in one session, and then you can just with like various like half hour intervals or like 5 minutes here and there, you can write the verses, and that like lends itself to like not like there's no startup costs. You don't have to like sit down and remember where you were and keep the whole code base in your head.
Right.
It's just like a pretty loose thing. So that was like a fun thing to create. And then also these video, like this San Diego video, this cross country corridor, it's like I'm doing the walk anyway, I just take some footage and then make like a cheap video out of it. And then but then all of a sudden it's like this mock design of like it does kind of show off the trails. And then I start just thinking about ways to like make it better, and maybe or maybe not I make like a more polished version of the video or something.
Right. Yeah, but definitely, yeah, something to just doing it, just creating a steady output, uh, and then the rest sort of comes, I think. Yeah, and it's like the hip hop songs. It sounds like that's something that has been giving you creative energy, like just
Yeah,
writing
that too.
those.
Yeah.
Like yeah, I'm like, yeah, I the other week was just like sitting and like sort of thinking like, okay, like is this something like I still want to do? Because I just like for the most part, it's just like starts and stops, and for the most part, I um haven't been doing it this past year. And it's like when I think about it, like my when I'm like really in it and like feeling it, um, like it gives me energy like nothing else. Like uh it feels like so energizing. And I guess I'm using that as like my heuristic where it's like if that ever goes away, then maybe I could just like I don't know. Or if I'm, need like am in dire need of an income source, and I guess those would be the two things that would make me just go back to the tech stuff. But like as long as that's there, then it feels like the right decision to keep sort of trying. But um,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's so art is so like self-reflective too. It seems like these struggles and these thoughts are like something that really I feel like deserves to be packaged up into a game.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Yeah, I was just reading, rereading. There's a this is a very niche thing, but there's this manga guy, popular one called Chainsaw Man. Have you heard of this
Yeah.
one?
Uh,
Um,
I must have, yeah. I think they talk about it on Minmax sometimes,
oh, okay.
or maybe
Yeah, I
that's
don't.
Pyramid. There's Pyramid Head, and
Yeah,
I forget where
Pyramid
I've heard
Head's
the
a different
chainsaw.
guy. Yeah. But yeah, very. Yeah, I never thought about the comparison. But yeah, there's this artist who like, uh, yeah, makes this manga that I think is very very good. And sort of one of a kind. Um, and yeah, very dark. But he also has this really beautiful, sort of reflexive, like called like a one shot comic where it's just like one issue that's like very long, called Look Back, um, and it's fiction, but I assume there's autobiographical elements, and it's sort of like, yeah, reflecting on like what draws him to manga, and um, I think the characters are two women, and yeah, there's other stuff going on in it too, but and I think they made a movie that was very popular based on that, but yeah, and it's like so clear from what I know about his life, like it's like he just like makes he just makes manga for like every possible emotion that he has, and that is just like what he does. And like he's also like, oh, I'm not actually that good. Like I'm not that good at drawing, or like he's had like no formal training. Like I mean, I think at this point he's gotten very good and impressively good. But at least in his mind, it's like sort of not about that, or like he wants to become better, but it's not like he would stop if it were bad. Um,
Right.
and yeah, it's sort of inspiring, but yeah, it's also an seeing the things that because his stories are like real messed up, but so it's like, okay, like he must be, someone who has gone through quite a lot, is continuing to go through quite a lot, and um,
Yeah.
yeah, so it's not, something I exactly want to emulate, but um,
Yeah, and that kind of content, it feels like the content is too intense. I need like someone else that appreciates the content to do like a summary of it. I would listen to like a podcast or a 10-minute YouTube video of someone like explaining to me what is going on. I don't know if I
yeah,
would be able to like directly absorb the manga. It seems, but it's like it's valuable that someone is doing it on that level, but it's like almost like too intense and too much
yeah, it's
to,
kind of a
yeah.
lot, yeah, but yeah, I think it is worth, like it's the rare it's a rare piece of art that like I think has sort of transcended genre. Like there's just like I can sort of see its influence on like Western comics too, and it's just like it's so unique that I think like a lot of comic artists and probably other just like creative people and storytellers like pay attention to it. I think. um, yeah, but yeah, I can send. I don't know. There's probably some good video essay or something about it.
Yeah, you can sense something that like kind of explains the scope of it all. Or yeah, I'd be
Yeah,
surprised if there wasn't some kind of like profile on the creator or something.
yeah, yeah. I'll look for that.
Yeah, I'll head out soon, but I also wanted to mention this. I guess Ari Mose. I don't know if you've seen this guy on YouTube. He's got an interesting story where maybe a couple of years ago I came across him on YouTube, and he had sort of left his job and was making like a handful of small indie games, and then he also streams like game development. He enters like jams,
Hmm.
but he also like very transparently like shows his finances, and they're like quite low. He also
Yeah.
does like game dev, like people pay him to do like game dev coaching, and he even shows like he's like, well, I did this many hours of coaching at like $60 an hour, so there's my like $300 or $400 profit this month for like coaching, and then he's like, my games made like $1,000 $2,000 or something like that like this month,
Hmm.
and so he's like, that pays my, like that in total pays my rent, so I'm breaking even or whatever, if he is like factoring in groceries and stuff. And but then recently he published this video where he had a game release called a game about feeding a black hole, and it's like it's like discounted right now, $4 or something, and he made it with someone else. But he said that like in the first day it made like 80,000, but obviously like that's before like Steam has to take their cut, tax takes the cut. He's got to factor in like he spent 6 months working on it, and he's splitting that with like someone else. Uh, but he's not. I don't think he's looking like he's just sort of happy with like the wish list, like success and the launch. But the videos that he's making are very much like just a guy wanting to do game dev and just like doing it and talking about can this be a sustainable thing based on the amount, like he has some savings that are running down and he's got to try to break even or make a profit. uh so
That's
it's kind of
cool.
like a cool just yeah, it's like but some people, he seems quite like natural. He talks about burnout and stress and stuff like that, and maybe he had some kind of alcohol problem before. I think he alluded to that in one thing. uh but like he's definitely like taking a really strong shot at, like he definitely has some kind of natural ability to be resilient and to like focus. Maybe it's because, yeah, like maybe he's motivated by needing to break even and get the money because
Yeah.
he has nothing to fall back on. But uh yeah, what it's like just fascinating to see someone like, it's like they're kind of just like doing game dev, but they're tracking every dollar and they're doing streaming and they're like looking at wish lists and they're really like grinding, and to see like, what small success are they having, seemingly like doing everything right. Like he's on interview podcasts, he's like getting his game, he like people review his games on their podcast, and then he does a podcast interview, and so it's like this collaboration, these, building like supporters and stuff. uh
Nice. Yeah, that's super
yeah.
smart. Yeah, I feel like that's like that whole other skills like built like being able to do the YouTube indie game dev is like very
Right.
impressive and yeah, helps build an
But yeah,
audience.
I guess like, what's interesting is I always get served like people that are sustainable, but what's missing is like I guess, in some way that's what our podcast is like doing, is just putting out there like people who are just like doing it like as a partial hobby or thinking about it, or like where there's a lot of aspects that we're not interested in, like we're not interested in maybe doing the whole YouTube thing and being a personality and stuff.
Yeah.
uh and so then, yeah, this would be the perspective of just like the average person who's like adjacent. But then I wonder, like, it's fun for me, I keep thinking like, what are different ways that I can communicate like my uh experience with game dev like in a video, then
Mm.
have it sort of make sense or something, uh
Yeah, you could try
with
that
it.
out. Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like the difference with this is just like it's clearly like not trying to build an audience, you know? It's like for a different purpose. Like
Yeah, that's what is fun, is like content that exists but is almost like not intended to be listened to, but then it's like, well, what is it for? And it's like it's just intended to exist is like the only,
yeah,
is like
I think
valuable
it's
in itself or something.
valuable. Yeah, it's like yeah, it's like a forcing function to like, like have these conversations and also like uh I have like on occasion like been like I feel like we had like a good conversation about some topic and just like scrolled through and like found, it's like it is valuable. And yeah, maybe there's like, some other random few people who have listened and gotten something out of it too.
Mhm.
But, yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess I should be free next week. Are you free on, should we go back to Tuesdays or something?
Oh, yeah, let me see, because I'm not traveling. Um, yeah, I guess I'll be back. Um, I think I'll be not traveling anymore by Jan 1st. So we could do that week.
Oh, yeah.
Or just, yeah, skip till the next week. Um, whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the 6th. We could aim for the
Yeah.
6th of January the next time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Sweet. Well, congrats on the move and everything. Yeah, you're all settled. Sounds amazing. Looks amazing.
Yeah, we're
That's
excited too. We'll get like a couch in the next couple of weeks. Uh, and that's like a big purchase, like couch.
nice. Yeah. yeah. I kind of like it's like I remember moving in new places where you just have like absolutely nothing and it's like
Yeah.
I don't know, it's so full of potential. Like yeah.
Yeah.
All
All
right.
right.
Take care.
Yeah, I'll see you.